That's actually not bad what I read. Honestly, seeing it all stacked nicely together, it doesn't seem too bad. But it kind of was. So let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to a new video of mine. My name is Emily, and in today's video I will be obviously talking about all the books I read in May, which weren't a lot. Also, yes, let's address the elephant in the room. I did cut my hair quite a lot, and I dyed it red. I just wanted a change, and I thought if I would change my hair, it would change me. It hasn't yet kicked in, but it was only yesterday that I cut it, so it still has time to like kick in, you know, the red short hair type of girl, and not the sad brown hair, the pressed girl that I am am. If that makes sense? I don't know. But let's talk about all the books I read in May, which I would describe as sad, and the books, and trying to get out of it, and still trying. I would say still trying. But let's start with the first book that I actually listened to, and that was Cultish. And that is like a non-fiction book about cults, mostly in the US, a little bit outside of it obviously, but the author is American, so it's about the US. And not just like cults like Scientology and I don't know, but also like kind of like religion and like cults like Lululemon cult or Soul Cycle cults, like cult-ish things. Obviously Soul Cycle is not cult, but she was like, it has cult-ish tendencies, you know? So that was really interesting. I did enjoy it. I just wasn't like, wow, life-changing non-fiction. I just wasn't like, oh yeah, this sounds interesting, I'm gonna listen to it, and I enjoyed it, but that's it. So I gave it 3 stars. It was fine, honestly. Then I randomly decided to read The Great Believers by Rebecca Mackay, and that was when I like started to be like, okay, I can feel a reading slump coming. Let's just try to read something that like interests me, that I've been wanting to read for a long time. I got it on my Kindle, so I read it, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I actually gave it 4.5 stars. It just was, it's a book about the AIDS crisis in the 80s and 90s. So it's a historical fiction book about a group of friends that are just going through the rough time because they're all getting AIDS, or most of them, because it's a gay group. Wow, the struggle of describing books is really hitting me. And just seeing myself like with the red hair constantly is just not helping the situation at all, trying to talk. But this group of friends, they're all gay in their 80s and 90s during the AIDS crisis in Chicago. And it's a real struggle because it's the AIDS crisis and nobody's doing anything for them. And they're all dying, basically. They're all just dying. You know that sound of Grey's Anatomy? Where it's like, everybody's leaving and everybody's dying. That was the book. And at the end, I really cried myself to sleep. It was just so sad and heartbreaking, but really good. And like I said, it takes place in 1985. That's when it starts. And then there's also a time in 2015, that's like the present time. And it's taking place in Paris, which is really interesting. And it's about one survivor and her life. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It was a little bit slow to start, but yeah, very infuriating how it all went down basically, but very educational. Like, I personally did not know a lot about AIDS, so it was very like educational, helpful, I guess. So I did enjoy it. The next book I read was for a video where I only read sad books for a week. Fun fact, the book that I read before that video was the saddest book I read the whole month. So that was just amazing that I did not put that in the video. Just amazing. But anyways, here we are. So the first book I read was If You Had Been With Me, which I'm just glad I read because it's finally off my TBR. And I know what it's all about, the hype. And I did not love it. Like, I enjoyed it. It was really quick to read. You binge through it. It is YA romance, so very easy to read. But I did not care. Like, honestly, kind of the main character was just annoying. The ending was extremely abrupt. It kind of like, you know what's gonna happen in the first page, but then it's like still like shocking, but so abrupt, and like no further explanation. And just, I don't know if I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars, but that was like being generous for it just being a fast-paced book. That's what I would say. But yeah, I read it, and it's basically about Autumn and Finn, who were always best friends, but then they grew apart. But Autumn then realizes, hey, I'm actually in love with my childhood best friend, but then she's a boyfriend in high school, and he's gonna like prove it, and she doesn't want to break up with him, and this whole shit goes down, and then it turns really sad, and you probably already read the book, so yeah. Then the second book for that video was The Way I Used to Be, which was another YA book that took place like freshman year to senior year, same as the other one, which is kind of fun. But this one is a lot heavier and with heavier topics, because this is about the girl, and she gets sexually assaulted or raped in her bedroom by her brother's best friend, and then she doesn't say anything to anybody about it, and nobody knows, and it's just like her trying to cope with what happened, and it's just really sad the way she's coping with it and how everybody keeps reading her, and it's just very heartbreaking. And I gave that one 4 stars. Then I read Saving Six by Chloe Walsh, which is the 3rd book in the Boys of Torment series, and I was so extremely excited for Joey's book, because I loved Joey in the other 2 books, Binding and Keeping 13. I wouldn't say I was like disappointed or anything, because I wasn't. It was just a little bit not what I was expecting, because basically it starts when they're like 12 years old, and then it goes until they're like 18, 16, I'm not 100% sure. And so it's like a long time frame, and I felt like the first half of this book was just so much build up and going rounds and rounds and rounds until it finally stopped, and then the book was amazing. But yeah, a lot of like circles, and that was kind of sad. But yeah, I just love this whole series. I love all the characters. I love the found family, or the family. And then I love Joey. I love Eva. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'm gonna give it 4.5, which is disappointing, but I still like enjoyed it. But I thought it was gonna be like an instant 5-star, and it wasn't, so that was a little bit sad. But yeah, and I need to read this next one very soon. Very soon. Then, because of the current weather we were having in Germany, that was basically just thunderstorms and rain all the time, I decided to read One Dark Window, because this was the weather in Germany. When she was describing autumn, that was what it felt like, living in May in Germany. Just fantastic, right? Just lovely, love it. But yeah, this was a very different fantasy book about a girl who gets infected, and everybody who was infected in this kingdom then possesses magic, and her magic is to absorb magic by cards that are being used by other people, like non-infected people, to have magic as well. And she absorbs the nightmare card, which is like the worst card ever, because like then there's this nightmare, this monster living in her head, eating her soul basically for the last 11 years. And she talks to him, and he helps her, but for a price. And then all the shit goes down. There's like a certain like revolution or act against the king by his trusted people, and there's a romance that I absolutely ate up. It was so good. It was honestly my favorite part of the whole book, and I really loved that part. I obviously loved more than just that, but that was like what I loved the most. Like, so good. But I don't even want to say anything, because I went in pretty blindly, and that was honestly amazing, just trying to explain the magic system here. But yeah, I'm gonna give it 4 stars, and I did enjoy it, but I was like obsessed. But I'm really interested to see the next book, because we're getting new POVs, and that is just always so fun, I feel like. So that's gonna be great. And then for me trying to get out of my bookshelf, I started to read Book Lovers by Emily Henry again. I already read that book, but I'm just rereading it and annotating it, and it's going really good, and I am enjoying it. I'm just not done yet. I mean, today isn't like the last day of May, but it is like the last day that I like have some sort of like peace and quiet before life gets extremely busy and just you know, unfun. So that's why I'm filming it right now, but I'm probably gonna finish it. And the good thing about a reread is I already know what I'm gonna rate it, and that is a 5 flopping stars. Isn't that amazing? I was not sure if it's gonna be still a 5-star. Like, I was going in like, let's test if it's a 5-star and see if it still is my favorite book by Emily Henry. And it is. It definitely is. And I love being back in this world. And I feel like I forgot how good it is. And the banter. Out of this world. Out of this world. So good. So when I finish filming this video, I'm gonna be going right back to that, which is fun. But yeah, it's about neuroentality, and yeah, just read it. So yeah, these were all the books I read in May, which weren't a lot for me personally, but that's okay. I'm just not like, yeah, book slumpy. So yeah, so these were all the books I read. Kind of going with a very dark blue themed, and then it's just orange, which is fine. But yeah, these were all the books I read, plus 2 non-physical books. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog, and I hope I see you in my next video. Bye guys, bye!